Hey, what's up, everybody? I got something for you. It's a little early Christmas present. I went to Home Depot and did some shopping. So, first thing that I needed was a cable. I'm going to try to do this video in one shot without edits, so be patient. I got a cable, and I got a nice one. I lucked out. I got the cable from a printer. And what makes it so nice, being from a printer, is that it's shielded. And you're going to see why. I'm going to give you a hint, it's for audio use. So, I got a shielded cable. And then I went out and got a big box of outlets. I only needed one. The one I needed was probably $1, but I figured I'll spend the $5 and get 10 of them, so good deal. And then I got myself a bag of these little puppies right here. These are the cable nuts that you can put on a gang box to secure the Romex into the cable, into the box. And that was $1. I got a whole bag of those too. I got a bag of 5 for $1 something. So I spent about $20. And one thing that I got, something else, was I got this dimmer switch. And then I got this 2-gang box for 2 outlets. So basically what I did was I took the cable that I found in my basement. I didn't exactly find it. I saved it. And I routed it into the box like so. I don't know if you can see it. My lighting here is kind of dim. I just noticed. But yeah. So I routed that into the box. Used my wire nut. And I'll lead you by the hand just in case you're out there and you want to do this project but you don't have any electrical skills to speak of. So then I took the outlet and I wired that in first. I took the 2 wires. I took the green wire that came right from the cable, and then I took the bare wire that also came from the cable. So the bare wire is the shielded wire for the ground. Basically what that is it's a shielded wire. It's tinfoil and wire that runs over the whole entire wire assembly underneath the plastic and shields it against random noise, random frequencies. So I put those, of course, under the green nut, and then I took the white one from the wire and I put that under the nut for the large side. That's the neutral. Neutral always goes with the larger of the legs right there. Then I took the hot leg, the black one, came off of the wire, and instead of mounting it directly to the outlet, I ran it through a dimmer switch. And then I took the other end off of the dimmer switch and I put it on the other side of my outlet. And that was pretty easy. So get that whole thing together. And I'm going to keep talking as I make this presentable. I'm just going to bolt it back together. And I did this because I like to play guitar. So this is for you guitar folks out there that like to play. And I got this idea from Eddie Van Halen. And way back in the day, as everybody knows, Eddie is very ingenious. He made his guitar, he made Frankenstein. And he also made a slight adjustment to his Marshall amp. And basically what he did is he connected a variac, which is a way to adjust the voltage going into the amplifier. And he did that because, as you know, the higher your volume goes on your amplifier, particularly on a tube amp, the more distortion you're going to get. So when you want that rock and roll crunchy sound, you know, the one that your mother, your wife, your neighbors keep saying, shut that damn thing off, well, guitars play so loud because that's the way to make your amp really perform. You want that distorted sound. That's rock and roll right there for the most part. I could be corrected, you know that, but for the most part, that crunch, that's what we like. So Eddie, in his genius, figured that, hey, I can have my volume on 10, and I can get all of the distortion that my Marshall amp will put out being on 10 without the volume. And he knew that all he had to do was connect a variac. So what he did was he connected the inlet outlet wire, the power wire, to his amp, to the variac, and then the other end of the variac into the wall. That way he could adjust the voltage going into the amplifier so that when he had it on 10, you could get all of the distortion that you want without the volume. Now Eric Clapton, he's famous for that as well. He plays, he likes to play, particularly in studio and maybe on stage too. I haven't really looked into it, his stage gear that he has, but he's famous for playing small wattage amps as loud as they will go, because you can distort the hell out of that speaker and get a really nice sound without the nosebleed, the ear bleeds, the ear damage, and the ensuing police intervention that comes with having high volume all the time. So anyway, this is what it looks like when it's all put back together. And what you can do here, the way that this is wired, is to plug the amplifier right into the outlet. And like I said, this works a lot better on tube amps, probably than it would on a solid state. But I can't swear that it wouldn't work on a solid state. And then what you can do is you plug your amplifier in here, your head, and then you plug the other end into the wall. And then you can adjust the amount of voltage that you want to feed your amplifier to get the right sound that you want. You can have your amp on 9 or 10 and get that distorted sound without the volume. Now, I went this route because I looked up variacs, and if you want a nice one, they can be expensive. So I figured I would just build my own, and it works pretty good. So this whole thing was 20 bucks. I've looked up variacs, they go upwards of $100, a couple of hundred. I'm sure you can find them cheap, but for 20 bucks, I made a neat little project, and I get some cool sound out of my amplifier. So, like I said, I don't want to do too many edits on this video, or I'd give you a sample, but go make one. 20 bucks, less than 20 bucks. Like I said, I bought packages of things, I bought packages of outlets, because I have a house. So I'm like, well, you know, you're always going to need an outlet sometime. Probably going to need some wire nuts, whatever. But you can buy onesies. It's like $1 for this one. That was $6, six and change. The box was $5. You can buy a plastic one if you want. I went with the metal because it's going to get kicked around. And I got a cover for it to make it all nice and pretty, but I got the wrong cover. So that was $2. I'm going to return it, get a nice steel cover for it. And the one thing that you want to be careful of, though, oftentimes there's beers in the jam room. You don't want to put this anywhere where you're going to spill a beer on it or any other liquid, because, you know, it's an electrical item. So that's about the end of that lesson. I'm sure you already know all about that, but go make one. It works pretty cool. So rock on. Merry Christmas.